Hello, YouTube. Good day. It is time for some Black Thought. This is where I ramble podcast style about the city of Final Fantasy Opera Omnia topic. Gameplay's taking its back seat. Feel free to tab out while I screw around in game. The topic for today is global September content. We had the stream on Monday. Got lots of new stuff to talk about. Before I continue, make sure to like, subscribe, share, and please drop a comment talking about your plans for this month. Maybe they'll align with mine, maybe they won't, maybe we can compare. I'll be replying to everything, so don't hesitate to ask me some questions. I'm going to be co-oping because my bells are full, no book. After I stop co-oping, I'm going to just do summon boards off of no books, just because it's good filler. I got the ODB bumping in the background. Hope y'all enjoy. So respect the Wu-Tang. Yeah. All right. So starting off, I'm gonna talk about some of the quality of life and the game changes right quick. Dash unfortunately got a quote unquote nerf. His paralyze that came from his LD buff, the RNG one, it is now working as intended, as in it is generic and not framed. This is how it is in JP currently. It started off framed in JP, and they were like, nah, never mind. So that kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Cycle quests are gone. They're done. Its keys are gone. But we got these new cycles that give tier 4 crystals, which is nice. Voice lines, we got some of those for Warrior Light and Garland, and we're gonna keep getting more. I could give less of a fuck about those. I never use them unless I'm trolling in co-op, and even then, I barely pay attention in co-op as it is. That's useless. I'd much rather buy crystals. Never got people's obsession with voice lines, but I guess if you're happy about them, good for you. But I don't care. I don't care at all. I love Dash's animations. Wow. Let's see. Score has been uncapped. I don't think that was in the patch notes, but that is the thing that happened if you haven't noticed already, which you probably have. Skill order. We can now move around our Brave and HP buttons. You can see this guy changed them. I have mine a little different too. It's nice to have. Sphere crafting is incoming. Is this guy gonna burst? Please do, so I can not pay attention. Thank you. Sphere crafting is gonna be a thing come chapter 210. Why is this damage garbage? Probably doesn't have the LD, does he? Oh, yep, that would. Oh no, yes. What's going on? Or maybe he's eating purple ZX. That's probably it. Let's see. If Toto's doesn't do enough, whatever. Co-op doesn't matter. I'm podcasting. Sphere crafting is nice. Get some bootleg spheres going. We got the reset wave button, which is huge. Especially because we're about to be resetting like it's nobody's business once this chapter 210 challenge pulls up, and we're getting reset stones on we're getting 3 for free, and we are gonna get them in the weapon packs. I haven't spent money on this game in a bit, but I might buy a few more reset stones just to throw some love to the game, and also because I put an accidental sphere on Ramza, so we'll see how that goes. Unfortunately, we did not get the total HP damage dealt quality of life that Japan currently has. Currently on any HP dump, it'll show how much damage you did in that action total. It's gone. It would have been nice for Vaughn, just to show off how much damage he's really doing per turn, because people can't count. But it is what it is. The artifact quality of life with guaranteed gold on. Look at that. Rip Dash is paralyzed. So it was framed yesterday. No guaranteed orange, and artifact orbs, so our inventory is still gonna get cluttered by Cosmos co-ops. It kind of sucks in JP right now. I have a rant plan for that. It needs some help, but hopefully we get it before the Arden raid. If they decide to go the Chaos co-op route, And if that does happen, hopefully it just doesn't suck. And we didn't get the hard mode clears everything quality of life. So in JP currently, you can do the hard mode, and it will satisfy the requirements for the normal mode as well. So you spend less time doing trash, and you get to get to the hard content immediately, which is very nice, but not nice enough to where we're getting it right now. So, yeah. Let's see. Getting into actual content right now. We have Chapter 210. Vaughn is getting his LD and BT. He gets a AoE shave, single target. Not single. He gets an AoE shave, split damage, dump, and afterwards he gets a frame buff that lets him, I think it's called Mischarge, and it lets him use, it gets 3 free skill uses, so you can just spam skill 2 and go to town. It's great. He gets some good stats up as well. Pretty simple. After LD, Vaughn kind of ignores his EX. It's more of a buff refresh button, kind of like, actually, we don't even have anyone similar to that, but Cloud gets the same kind of treatment in the future. Oh look, 2 ultis. This should be fun. As for a new character, we're getting Gabranth, the instant break god, who can instant break on his EX and skill 2 on demand, provided the enemy has 4 debuffs on them, including his framed, which transforms when there's 4 debuffs active. Check the infographic, because I'm not trying to go too deep into kits. He's got some strong attack down. Also provides defense down, and sap and HP damage up. So his role in the party is as a he's supposed to cripple the bosses and enable the party, because he's got party auras. He doesn't have battery until his rework on his skill 1. But he's a very solid character, especially for being EX only. His utility is great for debuff stacking. Yeah. He's good. Waka, Locke, and Balthi are getting their boards. This isn't going to bring them necessarily, like, make them amazing. Like, that's how all boards tend to work. But it's nice. Can't get mad at it. If you're trying to run them in, like, a lower tier Dimensions End or something, it'll definitely make it a lot easier to run it back with boards on them. Nice to have, but they're not that big. They're not the star of the show here. The chapter's kind of stupidly long. It's got like a billion floors and it's like a maze and a bunch of dispersed nodes. So yeah, it's kind of a pain, honestly. The real highlight of this though is the chaos. The chaos is very nasty, and I'm praying we get the nerf version that we got in JP with the COVID reruns. But it starts off with a. Did I LD yet? No, I didn't. It starts off with the Porum horses, the ones that like to stab you and then inflict max HP down. And they get debuff immune as the fight goes on for a set period of time. I don't remember the exact mechanic, but it is a thing that happens. And there's 3 of them. And then real Galaxy Brain giving us 3 targets in the first wave on the fight where Vaughn is featured. It's whatever. I guess it's to showcase Gabranth's splash, maybe, but then he doesn't even take full advantage of the splash, because let me not go into that yet. The second wave is nastier because it has a guaranteed debuff, which means debuff immunity characters such as Lena, Aphmau. Who else has guaranteed debuff immunity? I don't remember. But it will go through that, which is hilarious but annoying at the same time. If you want to get rid of these debuffs, you need to use a cleanser such as Cyan. So Necklord's somewhere happy. You need to use Yuffie or use Yuna. I'm going to be using Yuna in that chaos. You already know. But the debuff, I didn't actually say what it does. The debuff makes it so that the bosses counter you after an action happens. So any action, which includes like C65, instant turn rate skill, anything like that. Uh-oh. Is this ulti gonna die? Uh-oh. Whoops. That's unfortunate. Sorry. If you've written their recast dispels all of your buffs. all of your buffs, not just generics. It dispels your frames too. So that could really, really hurt you. So if you're a stat character like Porum or Rams or something, you're pretty much screwed if they get their recast off, which is big sad. Big sad. So in JP, the COVID rerun, they reran this chaos, in this challenge, but Arden was synergy at the time because it was the COVID reruns and whatnot. They took away the dispel from the recast, which made this fight infinitely easier. I mean, they still hit really hard. The fight's still super obnoxious, but it was a lot more manageable. So I'm praying that they rerun the change version, because that would be very helpful. Just please, devs, throw us a bone. For the challenge, Gabranth and Lena are probably necessary. Waka can work, because they can miss. It's not a guaranteed hit, it's just a guaranteed debuff. But if the attack misses, then they don't debuff you. So Waka can blind them and can RNG his way out of it. Let's see. Locke can probably work as a solo healer as well. We'll see some creativity when it comes to global. I'm just basing my knowledge off what I remember via YouTube and JP Gen at the time, but it's very challenging. I don't think I saw a single run without Gabranth, although it's probably possible. So have a heads up with that. There was a bug with Gabranth also at the time when it released, and probably not a bug, but because Gabranth re-breaks targets if they have the 4 debuffs up, and they absorb whatever element he's doing. Say for example, you enchant yourself with a summon, they absorb, like it absorbs stone for some reason, or earth. I don't know what but it's actually called. So he'd attempt to re-break on every hit, but he'd also be absorbed. So his EX is 15 hits, ended up delaying them because it would re-break and then break again, like continuously. Very, very, very strange interaction. It may or may not be active in global. I used that in JP when it released to give myself some leeway, because I had a 0-3 Lena, a purple Gabranth, and a purple Vaughn with LD no burst. So that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to that salty run back. My plans for this banner and event, ticketing Gabranth banner, because I'm at about 700 tickets until I get his EX. If I get his EX before I get Vaughn's LD, then I'm going to jump to the other banner and try and snag Waka's EX just for collection's sake. But I'm not, won't be hurt if I don't get it, but it would be nice to just get it now rather than later, just like I said, for collection's sake. Not chasing Vaughn's BT, because hashtag don't chase burst unless it's a favorite. My challenge team will be purple. I purpled Lena on her event solely for this. I don't even care if I don't use her after this, but I wanted to purple Lena specifically for this fucking challenge quest. Vaughn is already purpled. I'll have his LD, and I'm going to purple Gabranth as well. I'm bringing the guns. I am bringing the guns. Next up, we have Abyss. Nothing to say about that because it's global exclusive. I just hope it's fun. I don't know. It drops the same time as the chapter too, I believe. I don't know what I'll probably just... I think I'm going to pull and then go to sleep. Go to the gym in the morning and then just grind through the story while I'm on meetings or stuff at work. And maybe stream later that night? I don't know. If I feel like it, although I usually don't feel like streaming, so don't get your hopes up. Next up, we have Machina's Lost Chapter. What do I have to say about Machina? Oh, I need to pay attention to co-op. For one, he's Captain Levi from Attack on Titan, so that's a reason for me to pull. I think his kit's interesting. He looks kind of fun. He's got speed down on his new follow-up debuff, which is sweet. Sid is getting his EX+. I don't really know much about Sid. His kit in Dissidia doesn't really interest me, to be honest. But getting him along the way would be nice. Rem is also getting her character boards. Not super impacting, but it helps. I don't know specific details, but yeah. Shout out to Rem. The bosses are again Speedy Meriliths. Machina is there to outspeed them, and Rem is supposed to swap Machina forward so you don't get nuked by them. Chaos isn't really that bad. It's pretty similar to Release, so if you have a recent roster, then you can just get a lot of variety through that. As for the challenge, you definitely need a healer. I mean, it's kind of impossible to run it without a healer, isn't it? Let me think. Yeah, I think it is impossible to run without a healer, because Sid and Machina, it's not Machina, Sid and Rem are two of the choices that you have, and they're both healers, and the other choices are Machina and Vaughn. So yeah, I think it's pretty manageable. Just don't die. Not even comparable to the cancel. That's 210. My plans are gems if I'm under 400 tickets, because I really want Machina. I'm probably gonna gem it regardless, because I don't, unless I get a heavy luck sack, which I can't see it because I want both Gabrant EX and Von LD. But if I'm like at 500 tickets, then I'll ticket it. Otherwise, it's looking like gems. I want Machina specifically. One, because he's fun, and the other reasons I said before. Two, he's gonna make Divine, not Diablo's summon board farming in the future. Spoiler alert. Divine summons, they go by faster the more synergy you have, and Machina is a really good farmer for that. He gets his LD boards and it's 80 on that event. So him alongside Ramza and some other random third proved to be a great farming team. So that interests me as well, because I'm all about cutting down that farming time. That's why I re-up Mog Pass today. I'm really about it. Great way to support the devs and also not waste my time. He also just looks fun. Getting Sid along the way wouldn't be bad. I won't purple Sid because I really don't have any interest in using him, really. I mean, he's alright. He's not like a favorite or anything, but Final Fantasy VII love. Nice to get it out the way. Sid's the only Final Fantasy VII EX I don't have, so I'm not going to chase it, but I won't be mad if I get it either. Challenge team will be 0 to 3 Rem, LD Machina, and LD Vaughn. That should be pretty straightforward. Alright, on to the Beatback challenge. That's kind of the replacement for a character event. Leon and Vivi are both getting a rework in EX Plus. I can't speak much to Vivi's rework. I think he gets an HP dump on Focus, and Fire gets stronger, and his EX Plus makes him do more damage. Yeah, I mean, he seems solid. Vivi, he's still got the artifact problem. He enchants fire now, I believe. I'm not going to speak too much on this kid because, again, I don't know. But Leon's about to become a monster. He finally gets a party aura. He imperils Dark, so he's working a lot better with his own element. He doesn't get screwed. What else? He gets more overflow. I think he gets the big thing about Leon is that his HP conditions get lowered down to, I want to say, 50%. So if he's above 50%, then he won't have any problems keeping up his plus skills or whatever. Same with his EX. It's just to be consistent, really. And I think he got a little bit more overflow and maybe even more skill uses. Check the infographic when it comes out. RCL might be the third synergy, as that's what happened in JP, but there is no guarantee that that's what's going to happen. So it could be someone else. Maybe they'll fast forward something. I don't know. Probably not, just for balance sake, because I think the challenge quest is balanced around having Arciela. Whatever. The fight is the Ice Gigas from 2-3, the Cosmos. Also, it was on Tier 9 Dimensions End. The Golbez Dragon. It has a funny name, but I forgot it. The one that nukes, and the Zac turrets. Synergy is works pretty well here. Leon and Arciela are both healers. Vaughn, Vivi, and Machina are there to deal damage. As for my plans, this banner's a skip. I have Leon already, I have Arciela, and I have no interest in Vivi. He's kind of whack. Sorry, Vivi fans. I mean, I'm looking forward to people running him. He's not my cup of tea. I love him in FF9, but I don't want to farm his arts either. Especially, I'm not trying to farm arts before the Mog Pass guaranteed orange. That's a waste of my time officially now. I will be purpling Leon though on site because that dude's fun. He's a beast. My challenge team will be Leon, Machina. Please break them in order. Thank you. Leon, Machina, and Arciela, assuming Arciela's on. the banner. Machina and Arciela can stack speed downs, which should be fun, and then Leon is going to take care of the tanking. So I won't take any damage. It'll get clapped. Next, we have Ultimate Odin. Oh boy, Ultimate Odin. Whew! Noctis is, spoiler alert, they didn't say it on stream, but it's pretty obvious. Everyone knows about Noctis' LD. And Paladin Cecils, they're goofy about not saying things in advance, but whatever. Noctis is getting his LD in burst. And oh man, is he fun. He's getting a rework too, actually. His follow-ups have more hits on them. What else? Skill 1 now gives his armature, I don't know how to pronounce it, framed. And it has splash damage, and all of his plus skills do not cost a turn. His LD gives him it gives him a frame buff that does something. I think it gives him bravery gen, but the big thing about it is it gives a buff to the party that allows them to warp in front of the enemy turn, kind of Noctis style, and I don't think they take up a turn either. Yeah, so they get a free turn, and they also warp behind the enemy, like a Noctis plus skill does. That's a very powerful party buff. Nobody knew was getting an EX plus. The new boards are Fran, Fang, Irvine, and Seven. Farming it's a breeze. Farming is kind of a joke now that Leo friends are a thing. Just bring Leo friend or Omni friend or Noctis. Leo friend's still the fastest. Noctis friend hits hard. Drop a Noctis friend with burst, and then he'll just destroy on the off turns. Especially after a Leo friend and his battery, that's going to be clean. It should be pretty straightforward though. Noctis is the best synergy by far. Not even close. The Chaos is a doozy. You need a launcher, probably, unless you run Leon, who can just take the damage that Odin deals out, because he doesn't have any Brave plus HP attacks, I think. The real gimmick of the fight is that on his recasts, Odin, if he breaks you, he sets your HP to 0. So anyone that has Last Stand, it goes straight through it, because it's not HP damage, it's you get set to 0. There's an important distinction. It's an interesting mechanic. I think it's a fun fight to work around the normal Chaos. He also has some weird stance where if you get it's after a certain attack. If he gains an aura, and if you don't launch him, then you get countered immediately afterwards, which is annoying, and he can't be delayed at all, even by break. So again, you dispel that aura by launching. So if you don't bring a launcher, you might be sad. Not quite sure how it works. I think he gets a sap aura too. So if you have Ida, I think she can abuse that. Maybe Jack can too. But just something to think about. It's a pretty unique fight, so I'm pretty hyped for that. The challenge is Omega. Did you see 65 really? The challenge is Omega Cancer. Dear God. I think you need Noctis for the challenge. I don't think there's any other way. Because the only other launching option you have to get rid of that aura is Fang. If someone pulls off a run with Fang and without Noctis, then hats off to you. But I think this is pretty centered around Noctis. Odin is super fast. You've all heard about the nastiness of this fight. Please be careful. Don't tear your hair out over it. Having Noctis' burst will help, but it's very possible without it. My plan for this fight, or my plans for just this banner in general, this event, I'm going to be using gems on Noctis and Cecil. Last time I used gems on Noctis, actually every time I used gems on Noctis, I failed. On his event release, on his Lost Chapter, I pulled that up 25k because I was an idiot and mixed. I'm sorry, Ink. I'm sorry. I was an idiot. I used gems on RNA and pitied RNA and missed Noctis along the way. Feels very bad. Noctis has eluded me, but no longer. I have EX tokens saved. I'm going all the way to pity for them. Noctis LD will be what I pity, worst case scenario. And I'll token. If I don't get Paladin Cecil's EX, I don't fucking know. I guess I'll throw tickets. That would be. The odds of me missing both of their EX is very, very low. So let me not jinx myself talking about it further. I don't have 7. on the other banner. I'm a little sad about that because I think she's cool, but whatever. I'll probably pick her up somewhere along the line. I think it's the last time she's synergy for a while, so yikes. I would not like I'd be using her for anything, but I think her kid's cool. The chaos, I'll think of something creative. I might run a darkness team with like Dark Knight Cecil, Leon, and somebody else because you can't get broken with that team. Oh, that should be fun actually. Yeah, I think I'd like that. Maybe some speed down via RCL or something. Yeah. But as for the challenge, Paladin Cecil, Noctis Irvine, all purple, all boarded, not playing any games. That's about to be a doozy. Tier 15 also releases the same day as Ultimate Odin. Not much to say about that because the video will be coming on that. Just know it's a Garnet Flan, Wave 1, and then the Deuce Kraken and the Charlotta Dragon on the Wave 2. So like I said, video is incoming, so just wait on it. And I have run out of bells, so now I'm going to waste my time in World of Illusions. I think I'm going to be boarding Basch in advance for his event. No books, because I don't roll like that. Not trying to waste my books on something valuable. Let's see. Did I Shiva him yet? Let's see. I did. What didn't I do for Basch? Slight interlude here. I ran out of... No, I did not run out of water. Alright, Remu. That's it. Remu, then Panda, then the Atlas. Said it out loud, so I'll remember it. Speaking of Basch, his last chapter is the event after Ultimate Odin. And Basch is getting reworked. He's getting more skill uses. And he's getting LD. His LD gives him a buff that does things. On top of those things, it gives him attack aura, I think attack and max brave aura for the party. And his total aura ends up being like, I want to say 95% attack to the party, which is like Rosa levels, which is nuts. His skills battery the party, which include his HP plus, skill 1 and skill 2. I think he gets a lot more skill 2 usage. And his taunt on skill 1 gets bumped up to be inflicted for 5 turns, so he has pretty much no trouble maintaining that lock, which is sick. No new EX pluses, no new boards. The boss is pretty much the same as event. Don't get nuked. If you have some HP damage mitigation, and you're not batteried on that turn, then you should be fine. You can probably silence it with what's her name, Arciela or Kafka. So also not a big deal. As for the challenge, I'm confident that Basch is necessary for it. You might be able to turn manipulate your way out of it via Noctis, but I'm not going to say for a fact that that's a thing. Yeah, Noctis, if you don't run Basch, then Noctis, Vaughn, Sarah is your options, and Noctis and Vaughn are definitely going to need their LDs for that. Probably, I can't see any way of cheaping out on that. So, sorry, that's just how it is. Basch is going to make it brainless, though. You might not even need his... I mean, if you're really trying to be cheap, maybe you can just bring a 15 Basch and have Vaughn and Noctis go to town, maybe. We'll see when it gets there. I know our community will figure something out. As for me, I'm going to be ticketing Basch LD. I'll have plenty of tickets after Ultimate Odin. And, yeah, I plan to get him and to dump all my tickets there. I should have plenty by that point, because I'll be saving up after Machina and Ultimate Odin, like I said. Challenge team will be Basch, Noctis, and Vaughn. I'll just delete it. If you have them, it's just a joke. Just demolish challenge. 9. I've been talking for almost 30 minutes now, so I need to start wrapping this up soon. 9 is a tank. Getting his LD. He's got HP damage nullification on his LD buff that's on demand. He's a super offensive tank. He's most comparable to Warrior of Light, but he hits a lot. He does a lot more damage, like brave damage wise. He's got on-demand heals. I think he's got different weird auras. I think he's got an overflow aura too. He's got a lot of complexity, which I think is cool. And he'll be cool. Barrett is getting his character boards, and he's getting boarded on site. You feel me? On site. Shout out to Barrett. As for the boss, I think this one is gonna catch some people off guard. This wasn't really hyped because a lot of people pulled for Basch because of his auras, but this fight is actually kind of nasty. The first wave I think is the QOLs, maybe? Does it even have a first wave? I don't remember. It's got a main boss with ads, and they're AoE HP spammers, which makes sense considering 9 and Basch's Energy, who are HP damage reduction guys. They like to. It's either the ads. I don't remember specifically. I'm not looking it up before this, but they like to turn swap. I think the main boss turn swaps the ads, and they like do AoE nukes. So it'll be a lot of consecutive AoE damage, and so if you can't heal or you can't mitigate it fast enough, you're gonna get slapped. Like if you have Porum and you don't feel like pulling this, he's probably gonna be a clutch here. People will probably pull Basch in droves and call this fight easy, but it is a nightmare. If I'm curious for some creative runs on this because it's kind of scary, and it's magic resist. So unless you enchant your Ami Detelian and Aphmau, you're gonna be very you're gonna be a little sad. So watch out, please. The challenge, I am confident in saying you need Basch or 9. If you don't use either of them, what are your options? You got Fujin, Barrett, Basch, 9, Noctis. So if you don't run 9 or Basch, then you got to run Barrett, Fujin, and Noctis. And without Noctis's burst, I don't see how you turn manipulate your way out of that. It's got too much HP. It just sounds like an overall nightmare. So if you're not getting one of them, this challenge is GG for you. Sorry to say, it be like that sometimes. That's all I gotta say. My pull plans are to skip this banner. I already have Fujin and Barrett purpled. I don't really have an interest in 9, especially now that this might come back with Barrett's. I'm hoping it comes back with Barrett's LD on 9's Lost Chapter. So I'm looking forward to that. But 9 and the I won't use them if I have them. Sad, but it's whatever. Challenge team would be Basch, Barrett, and Noctis. I gotta represent Barrett in my challenge run. Haven't used him in a brick. Nice to put him out there. Yeah. What else can I run on this? Who's gonna get some love recently? Shout out to ODB. Let's run 7. And that's the content for the month. I mean, the Arden chapter got announced, but I think they kind of since he'll be the next BT, I think that's kind of bleeding into next month's or cycle's maintenance areas content. So I won't be talking about that. Save that for later because we'll be having a stream a little bit before that. I don't know exactly how they're lining it up. It's gonna be weird. JP, I mean, GL. This does not mean that GL's speeding up at all. People who thought that initially just go back and look at the timelines. It's not different. Relax. All right, going over my entire plans. Let's see. So I'm gonna pull Gabronth, purple him boards, Vaughn LD, Machina LD in boards, Noctis EX LD, Paladin Cecil EX. He's also getting purpled, Basch LD in boards, and then Barrett boards. That means I'm going to be spending a total 5 books, 15 ingots, and I'm going to be maxing out 7 character boards, which means 35k points. I am using Mog Pass, so I have the points available to do that. I'm most excited mostly for the salty run back on Odin and 210 because I really hate those fights, but I'm looking back on them thinking they were fun because I'm an idiot. I'm looking forward to producing those videos as well because it'll be fun. It'll be real fun, you know. I think that's all I wanted to talk about. I don't think I forgot anything. Yeah, I think I got it all. I hope you guys enjoyed my Black Thought. Again, be sure to like, subscribe, share, and drop a comment about your plans and maybe what you think about mine. I'll be active. You already know the deal. I'm hyped. The grind begins. And I hope you all have a good one. Stay safe out there and have a great day. I will talk to y'all later. Peace.